Summer drifted slowly through a small, almost forgotten town, where the old streets stretched out like a tired ribbon, and the faded houses leaned toward one another as if whispering ancient secrets. The silence wasn't just silence anymore. It felt like the entire fabric of reality had paused, waiting for something unknown. In this quiet place lived 12-year-old Lily, an ordinary girl with an imagination far larger than the town itself. She adored books filled with mystical creatures, impossible adventures, and worlds that existed only between the pages. Yet, strangely, she never found comfort in dolls, which always seemed to still and too watchful for her liking. One warm afternoon, while wandering with her mother through a row of dusty antique shops that smelled of old wood and forgotten memories, Lily's attention was suddenly captured by a doll in a cracked shop window. It looked unusually elaborate. Long, tangled curls, glassy eyes that almost shimmered as if reacting to her presence, and a neat outfit with a bright, white collar that didn't match the age of the shop. On its back hung a small, worn tag with a name carefully printed on it. Mary. The shopkeeper, who appeared almost out of nowhere, leaned closer and whispered in a voice that sounded both cautious and oddly proud, "She is a very special one. Mary always chooses her owner, not the other way around." Lily wasn't sure what he meant, and the words didn't make sense, but the doll held her gaze with a strange intensity. Somehow, without fully understanding why, she brought Mary home with her. At first, everything seemed normal. The doll sat motionlessly on the shelf, as any doll would. But when the night finally spread its shadows across the room, something subtle and unsettling began to change. Lily suddenly woke up from a very strange, almost unidentifiable rustling sound that seemed to come from every corner of the room at once, making her heart beat faster than ever before in her entire life. The shadows on the walls danced strangely, stretching and twisting like they had their own secret intentions. On the old wooden shelf across the room, Mary's eyes gleamed with an unsettling brightness in the deep darkness, almost as if they were glowing with some secret knowledge. Then, as if carried by the air itself, a quiet, almost invisible whisper murmured her name in a tone that seemed to curl round her ears. Like a living thing, Lily. The girl shivered uncontrollably, feeling a peculiar mix of fear and fascination. Her mind, racing in all directions, struggled to comprehend what was happening. And at that very moment, a chilling realization hit her. The doll was not simply a doll, but something alive, something that existed in a way she could not understand, moving and thinking perhaps independently of everything she thought she knew about reality. A week later, Lily noticed strange changes in herself. Her thoughts were becoming darker, and she felt an irresistible pull toward places she had once been afraid of. The basement, the attic, old storage rooms. Mary stood on the shelf and watched. Every day the doll changed its pose, and her eyes seemed to follow Lily. One day, Lily approached the mirror and noticed that the doll's eyes, in the reflection, were living their own life. This horrified her, but she understood. Mary was looking directly at her. At night, the doll spoke for the first time. "You are mine, Lily. Now you are mine." Lily woke up from a strange rustling sound. Her heart was beating fast. On the shelf, Mary's eyes were shining in the darkness. A quiet whisper spoke her name. Lily. The girl flinched. She realized that the doll was alive. Desperate, Lily turned to the old librarian, Mr. Hudson, who knew the town legends. "A doll that chooses its owner," he said, "is not a toy. A soul is sealed inside it, and sometimes it chooses an owner in order to live through them." He warned Lily that to save herself, she needed to return the doll to the place it came from, that the path would be dangerous. Lily waited for darkness. She knew this was her last chance. The night was dark, and only the moonlight faintly illuminated the room. "Mine." The doll screamed, resisting. The room distorted, the floor trembled, the walls wavered, and Lily felt foreign thoughts and fears. But the girl kept moving forward. She came to the old well on the outskirts. The well was old and deep. Lily lifted Mary above her head and shouted, "You are not mine." The doll struggled. Her eyes burned. Her voice sounded like metallic scraping. Lily threw Mary into the well. The wind howled. Darkness swirled and silence fell. Lily thought that Mary had disappeared. But sometimes, looking into the mirror, she saw a dark silhouette behind her with the same glass eyes. The town remembered this story. The doll that chooses its owner is alive. She knows that time will pass, and trusting hands will reach for her again, because no one knows who Mary really is.